Milankovitch cycles and how this affects the global warming and ice ages on the planet Earth. Rocks are layered. Have you ever thought why? Why rocks are layered? Really, why the rocks have layering? Layering is caused by several similar processes. For example, volcanism, like these Deccan traps in India, or earthquakes, can create layers. And sedimentary rocks, which are the most dominant one on where we see visibly, are caused by the erosion and deposition of the sediments, particles, and rocks, and very fine material, which has eroded through the climate. But weathering is a climate affected process. The rain, the snow, causes layers of the rock formed by erosion. And when the layers of the rocks are formed, they can be compressed and formed as a rock. So every season we have a different rate of erosion because of the seasons are different, the rate of the precipitation. Seasons are created by the axis of the Earth being tilted in its orbit around the Sun, and the angle of the Sun on the Earth creates winter and summer in different parts, the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And these are governed by something related to astronomy. That is the Earth orbit around the Sun. Earth orbits the Sun in a way that is not a circle. It's something like a oval. And it gets closer to the Sun and farther away, the rate of the energy received by the Earth changes. But this orbit even changes gradually, and the point Earth will not come to the same point all the time. Another factor is the tilt of the Earth axis, which is also rotating like a tabletop. So this tilt varies around the Sun in a circle which we know in astronomy as precision. And that is the reason the pole of the Earth is not the same all the time. Also, this axis also have some slight wobbles, and these slight wobbles also affect the climate in a way, because they change the axis and the amount of the energy we receive the Sun. These three cycles are important. We see them in the aging of the rocks. When we do aging of the rocks by fossils, for example, like these visible microfossils, bigger fossils, like the ones that you see in rock layers, or by pollens. The pollens are the material that the plants disperse for reproduction. They are the toughest material. They survive, and we can age the rocks precisely. Because the reproduction of the plants and dispersion of the pollen are seasonal. In the spring, summer, and winter, they're different by that. And through that, we have discovered the ice ages on the planet Earth have a periodic cycles of 11,000, 22,000, 40,000, 90,000, or 100,000, and some bigger one, 400,000. And these are all related to the rate of the erosion, sedimentation on the Earth, seasonal changes like the Sahara dust that we see in some geological layering. And the changing color can be just related to the admixture with this Saharan dust, and also other material that come into the sedimentation process and change the color of the rock. These cycles were originally discovered by this Serbian scientist, Milankovitch. He was sent into prison during the First World War because he was Serbian, and the Germans don't like Serbs. And we know that during the Serbian War in the 1990s, Germany was the first one who actually helped the disintegration and the mass murder of the Yugoslavian people. Germans have a guilt, not only for the Jews, against the Serbs also. And anyway, this Milankovitch, Milutin Milankovitch guy discovered these cycles by studying the pattern of the ice ages on the planet Earth, and came to these several cycles of the change of the sedimentation due to the ice age. Weathering changes by the ice ages, amount of the Saharan dust changes. So these cycles were visible to him and to us through these observations. We know now these cycles are important. They create the layering of the rocks that we see actually. That is the reason the layers of the rock actually shape and form the way they are. Otherwise, all the rocks should look the same. If just one season to the next season, there should not be any change. The change happens because Milankovitch cycles change the rate of the erosion, and Saharan dust and other material admixture with them creates the rock layering.